Hey guys, happy to see you back. So in this video, I'm going to explain you the mistakes what we were doing in the TCS coding exams and how to clearly avoid those mistakes while coding. So this is a part 2 of the video and I have already uploaded the part 1 in my channel. So please do look at that video also. Let us go to the video now and check how to do this. See, if you look at the console, presently I don't have any code in here. So because I wanted to demonstrate that this is the same pattern that will be in the TCS also. They will not give you any boilerplate code and there will be nothing in the console. You will just given a question and you have to select the programming language what you want, and then you will get a blank screen. You have to start the programming. So first of all, if you are using Java programming, so the taking input is very easy. Yeah, also in Python, it is also very easy to take the user input and convert it into whatever the form you want. So I don't know much about what C++ guys are doing, and I think most of them are not using the Perl language that is given. So today I'm going to demonstrate how to take the input from the system and convert the into whatever the form we want. So let me start with, so as we all discussed and I have explained in the earlier videos also, the class name what we are going to create should be my class, where M and C should be capital. So I have created the class. First I will create the main method, that is public static void main. So now here we have to put string args. So because in this online compiler it will work, but when it comes to the Java compiler which is provided by the TCS, it is not going to work. So after writing this much of code, first try to print something. So I'm going to just print the strings hello. So why we have to do this means, so we have to check whether we have done our boilerplate code correctly or not. So for example, like creating the my class and creating the public static void main, and whether we have like passed the string array of arguments, and yeah, a little of things we should first clarify, and then we have to move to taking the user input. So now my code setup is correct and my system.out.println is working correctly. We got the output as hello. So what is the next step we are doing? So if we are using Java, we are directly going to create a scanner object using the scanner constructor, that is system.in we are using. So using this object SC we are creating, and using the system.in argument we are going to take the user input from the system what the TCS is using. So the mistake what we are here doing is, we are using the scanner class but we are not importing the scanner class. So for that, first I am going to import java.util.star. So first I did also this, I imported all the packages inside the util class, or sorry, all the classes inside the util package, but I didn't get the scanner class. So basically we should have get the scanner class inside the util, but I didn't get. So then I thought, let me explicitly mention that I want scanner class from the util package. This worked. So we have to observe that in TCS, some of the classes inside the util package is available, but some of the classes like scanner and all are not directly available. We should explicitly tell that we want to import the java.util.scanner package. Now we have imported the scanner class. So first of all, how the TCS is giving us the input is, first they are giving the number like some array size, and then they are putting a comma, and then they are giving the value for the array. See, like this. So we are assuming that these values are integers and directly available, so that we can take the user input using the sc.nextInt method. So but this will not work in the TCS coding rounds, because so as I explained you, they're giving a single string input, so where it will be including the integer array and array values, and if they are going to provide anything else, so all will be in a single line string input. So we have to first parse this string input into whatever the form we want. So for that, what we can do, first of all, I am seeing a comma. So by seeing the comma, I can clear that the comma is separated in order to give the two inputs. So the first input 4, which is representing the length of the array, and the next input that are the values like 39, 40, 35 and 67. So which are representing the values of the array. So what I can do is, so since they are all string, I'm going to create a string array called inputs. So what I'm going to do, from the input what I have, input dot, I'm using split method in order to split this input. So what is the criteria to split? Comma. So whenever you see comma, split the input into two parts, or take that input before the comma whatever all comes, take the as one block, and after comma whatever all comes, take it as another block. So this is the idea we are using. So here I have given the string input as in the code, but in TCS they will not be, I think it, I mean to say they will be, it will be given by the system. So we need not to worry about this. Also this comma separator works, but no need to use this, because it is correctly given as the first line, second line, third line. Multi-line inputs are already like, it is inbuilt, they are given as different lines. So we don't need this for now. Okay, then we understood that TCS is giving us string input, that is a one line string. So what the next step we have to take? So I also told that the input which is separated by commas are also given in the multi-line. So we need not to worry about taking the comma separated values first. So what you can do is, first whenever they are giving the array size, you create a string called array size and take the input using sc.nextLine method. So what does nextLine method do? The nextLine method will take the string input. So whatever comes before the first comma, that will be considered as array size. So in most of the cases they will give the array size first. So I am taking the array size. Then what you need to do? Then you need to create an integer value. Let me call it as len, and convert the value that we stored. See, convert that value we have stored in the array size. So what we are doing here? So first we took the array size as the string input, so as given from the TCS. Then I am converting the array size into integer value. So what this parsing method do? It will convert the string value whatever giving into the corresponding integer value. So I am able to store the integer value in the length variable. So okay, we took the integer value, that is the array size. So then what we need to do? So then the input, if the array size is given, it is obviously sure that a array is also given. So again I will create a string. Let me name it as array input, and I am taking the input as discussed using sc.nextLine. So here the array input will be taken, but the input will look like this: 40, some 50. So this is how the input will be given. So what is the common difference here? So we are having a space between two values. So after 40 there is a space, and then they have given 50, and then again space, then 65. So here we can observe that if we split using this space, so we will get the string array. So since we have observed that the values in the string are separated by commas, we can, sorry, not commas, separated by space. So we can use the split method in order to separate the spaces and take only the values from the input. So for that, I'm going to create an array called, let me name it as space separated, and where the string is stored, our string is stored in array input. So for this, I'm going to apply the split method, then split using this space. So here I'm saying, so whenever you see there is a space, just skip that. So and only bring where there is no space. So it will take us 40, the first value. It will be stored in the first index of the array, and it will go to the next index. There is a space, and it will leave that space, and it moves to further, and it will get 50. 50 will be stored, and again space, it will be neglected, and again 65 will be there, and it will be stored in our space separated array. So once you will done this, just confirm that you have correctly separated the values by their space. So how we can confirm that? So if you are created this space separated array without any errors or any logical errors, so we have to get some value in this 0th index or first index, and or at the whatever index a value will be stored. So if there is, at least there will be one value things. So if we want, we can convert this string array to an integer array using simple for loop method, or we can perform operation on this string array only, but we have to always convert that array value into integer.parseInt value. So because in order to calculate some or to apply arithmetic operations, so we need integer values. So it is suggested that create an integer array. Let me call it as nums. You can create array as a name which is mentioned in the question, or whatever the names that best suits for the question. So I'm creating integer array called nums and giving the size of the array as len. So what we get from the user. So because the array size what we have in the string, that is space separated, and the array size of the nums should be equal, then only we can store all the elements. So now I will create a for loop which runs from 0 to less than the length of the array, and I'll increment the I by 1. So what I'm going to do for the index of the nums, that is 0, 1, 2, 3, I'm going to assign the values that is stored in space separated array. So the first value comes, it will be stored in the nums array. Second value comes, and it will be stored in the nums array. Look here, what we are doing, the space separated array consists of string values. So we are assigning to nums array. Is it possible? No, because nums array has the data type of int, but space separated array has the data type of string. So we need to convert this value coming from the space separated array using the parseInt method. So now what happens? So whatever the value comes from space separated array will be converted to imp first, and then it will be assigned to the nums array. So now we can perform whatever all the operations we want, and let me quickly print you whether I have got the output as correct or not. I am going to access nums arrays 0th index. So here also in the space separated array I am accessing 0th index, and in the nums array I'm accessing the 0th index. So both the values should be same if our program is correct. So let me try. Okay, there is no error. The system is running. First I will give the input as 5. See, 5 is stored in array size first because we are giving the input for array size. Then it is converted to integer.parseInt and stored in length. So that is the what happening in the background. So now I have to give the array input. So I will give 5 array inputs which is space separated. So now these array values are space separated. I will enter. See, I got the first value as 15. Also the first value of the nums of 0 is also 15. So It indicates that we have correctly parsed the given string array, string input into string array. Then we have correctly converted into integer array. So this is how you have to pass the given input of the TCS before you perform any operations. So many of the students were not knowing this trick, and they were assuming that the given input will be as instituted data type, and the code was not working even though logic was correct. So please make sure, try to give some 5 to 10 minutes of the initial coding in order to take the user input correctly. Once you are clear about, yes, I have the correct user input, then go to apply your logic and then try to code the logic and try to get output. So I think this way helps you out, and you can pass as many test case as possible if you do this kind of method. I also done myself the same method in the TCS, and I got passed 6 test cases out of 7. So yeah, I think this helped you in order to take the user input correctly, and thank you very much.